let's take a look at how we can do a presentation type of file in Google. So I'm in my Drive folder and I'm going to go to New and I'm going to choose Google Slides. And when I do that, it's going to open up an untitled presentation, and the first thing I have to do is choose a theme, and there are several themes you can choose from. I usually stick with the basics, and so I have one right here. First thing you want to do is probably to change your title. And so I'm doing that now. Now, once I'm ready to get started, the tools are very similar, although they're button shape. I can add another slide, and then you click to add your title, and then I can add note number 1, hit return, note number 2, and so on and so forth. So it's starting to create my presentation for me. I can undo, I have those and redo buttons and zooming in. I can add text boxes, images, shapes, and lines. And then I can add comments as well, which can be helpful when you're sharing your presentation. Okay. You can change the background. So if I wanted to change the color or to an image or to reset my theme, I can do that. And I can apply to just one slide or to all my slides. I can change the layout of a particular slide if I know what I want, and I can go in there. And so those are the basics of getting started. But I wanted to point out that one of the first things you may want to do if you're making a presentation is to go to Slide and Edit Master. And this is also similar to what you could have done. Like if you want to change the style of a slide when it comes in, you can do this on your master slides. And so, it says click to edit the master title style. And so let's suppose that I wanted to change that to something that's a little bit smaller and to a different font, like Comic Sans, and that's probably good. Maybe we'll center it on the slide. And then I want to go here and I'm going to select all of this, and I want to make sure that that color will come in red, but if I get a second column, I want that column to come in blue. And so I'm not actually editing a slide, I'm actually editing my master. And now I can close that and go back to my presentation, and let's add a 2-column slide. And when I do that, notice that the title is in that Comic Sans format, and this column will be red and this column will be blue. So I wouldn't have to go back and do that for all my slides. It's already set here. So we've taken a look at how can you add in things and change all those using this toolbar. I did want to point out again the importance of these comments, that if you're working here, I can add a comment to a slide and then it will appear over on the side. And then when it's done, I can hit resolve. So if I am sharing this slide with students, I can make comments like maybe that was too much text, or you don't have the right idea, or you're doing a great job. I can add those comments right to each particular slide. The sharing here is going to be the same as sharing was in your other file types, that if I have my AP students all in a contact list, it'll bring it all out for them. They can edit or they can view. So if you have your notes and you only want students to be able to see the notes, not really be able to mark up on them, they can do that. Or they can share with one another. So let's think about how we might use presentations as a classroom tool. You might have a presentation on the planets, and so what you would do is this would be Mercury. Get rid of this, and then I'll add in Venus. And so I would just set this for my students with all the slides that I need, and then I would have Mercury, Venus, Mars, Earth, Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and so on. And so this would be my planets presentation, and each student would get one slide to start with, and then what they would do is that they would use their slide, and they could use multiple slides, and they would edit together just putting their information on, and when it's done, then they can put them all together. So another way to do this might be in a lab, like we'll have them do the introduction, hypothesis, and problem statement, data section. And so what would happen is everybody might be doing the same lab, but they're only responsible for one slide. And then when they get that slide, they'll be able to put their information in and adjust it as needed. You can import PowerPoint files as well and have them converted over into this simply by dragging and dropping them onto your Drive folder. So if I have my Drive folder and I have a PowerPoint presentation like this, I can drag and drop that on, and it will instantly load it into Drive, and it will convert it over if I choose to. As we showed you earlier, it'll convert it over into Google Slides. Now once I'm done, if students want to download it, they can go over to download, and then there's a host of choices how they download it. So they could download it as a PowerPoint file, a PDF, or even as an image file, with each image being one slide on your presentation. If you're ready to present, you can go over to present, and you can actually add in the speaker notes here. So if I click on speaker notes, I can have students use this and then present from it. And so when it says present, it's going to come up with the slides, okay? And so you get a good view of what that looks like. But if I hit present with speaker notes, now it's going to come up looking a little bit different in that I'll be able to see my notes in this section and the slide there, but what will present out will be the slide sitting in behind. And so that's how you can present from your slides. You can also use this, there's a Slides app for iOS and Android, and you can make your own presentation files. What we really want you to think about here, though, is how can you make a lesson plan that will be above the line in the SAMR model and allow that to contribute to the presentation of slides.